headed to the store right now. It's 27 degrees and really cold outside. And I am going to get a box cake mix. I'm a busy mom, and so I don't have a lot of time on my hands. I'm wanting to see if the box cake rivals a made from scratch cake. Alright, so many options. You got super moist chocolate fudge, devil's food cake, dark chocolate fudge. Oh man, I don't know what to choose. Guys, it's between this Betty Crocker super moist milk chocolate or Duncan Hines devil's food cake mix. I cannot decide which one. I think I'm gonna go with this milk chocolate Betty Crocker one. Hope I'm making the right decision.
Serenity didn't follow the directions exactly that were on the box cake. Instead, she did some cake hacks like adding more eggs than what was called for, using butter instead of oil, and milk instead of water.
The ingredients for my scratch cake was pretty simple and basic. Flour, sugar, cocoa powder, baking soda, salt, eggs, milk, vegetable oil, vanilla extract, and boiling water.
The showdown has started, and here's my cake box mix. I really want to find out, is this going to taste just as good as the homemade cake? If you're in a pinch and you need a cake last minute, this may be the way to go. It's a whole lot quicker. So we're going to be doing a few hacks today for the cake box mix to make it taste more homemade. It calls for 1 1/4 cups of water, but we're going to be substituting it for milk. Next, it calls for a 1/3 cup vegetable oil, melted butter instead. Alright, the next hack is instant pudding. You want to get the same flavor as your cake mix. In my case, this is chocolate. Next, it calls for 3 eggs. So I will be adding a couple extra eggs to hopefully make the cake more moist. So I'm adding 5 eggs, even though it only called for 3. Do you guys think this is going to stand a chance against the homemade cake? Let's find out. All right, mix it all together. How can this not be good? Look at how smooth and chocolatey. I just cannot wait to try it, so goes. I think this definitely stands a chance.
Should I be worried? I'm not so sure. I think homemade is always better. We'll see.
So I've greased and floured my bundt cake pan. I decided to use a bundt cake pan because I really want the presentation to stand out and be a little bit different, since this is just an ordinary box cake. All right, let's pour it in. After it's all smoothed out, we're going to bake it in a preheated oven at 325 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. I'm so excited to see how this turns out.
The showdown continues. Now we're getting ready to make that homemade from scratch chocolate cake. We are going to put in 1 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of sugar, 3/4 cups of cocoa. We need 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder. Baking soda, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda. Okay, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to give it a good whisk until everything's combined together. Now we're going to break in 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now we're going to mix it all together 2 minutes. After we finish mixing all of that together, we add in 1 cup of boiling water and stir it. I'm just going to put this at a low setting. The batter will be pretty thin. Okay, I'm really into chocolate. After all, I'm over 50, so I gotta try this. Chocolate anytime is good. We're gonna divide this between 2 pans and pop it in the oven, and we are getting closer and closer to finding out which one tastes the best. Surely homemade always wins. Surely. And I can't wait to find out. And into the oven it goes for 30 to 35 minutes. 350-degree oven.
So for the chocolate icing, you need 8 tablespoons of melted butter. Mix 2/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder with the melted butter. This is the chocolate icing for our cake. Alright, you'll need 3 cups of powdered sugar and 1/3 cup of milk. You're going to alternate by adding a little powdered sugar. Mix it in. And then add a little milk in. Stirring to a spreading consistency. Add some more powdered sugar and alternate with the milk. So for my bundt cake, I want it to be just a little bit more runny so I can drizzle on the top. So I'm gonna add just the tiniest bit of milk. And I'm just gonna keep adding the tiniest bits of milk until I get to the right consistency. You don't wanna add too much milk and make it super runny, so just start off with a little bit and then mix it in and see how much more you need. And here's the final consistency. Last, add 1 teaspoon vanilla extract.
Then it was time for me to make my icing. We decided to use the same icing recipe for both cakes for the sake of comparison. And then I got this cute taste tester who happens to be my granddaughter to help me out.
Okay, good job. My taste tester approves.
Next, I removed both of my cake layers to a cooling rack. Then the fun part of icing and decorating the cake began. We decorated our cakes 2 totally different ways. We both love fresh fruit, so we chose blueberries and strawberries for our cakes. I wanted to add some chocolate praline wafers to my cake, and Serenity used a few chocolate chips.
As you can see, I got some smears right here, so I'm just gonna cover those up with some strawberries.
And I just have an idea of just putting some strawberries and blueberries across the top here. I wouldn't say decorating a cake is my forte.
I'm gonna also sprinkle some chocolate chips on the top.
It's really good. Presentation's important. They may like her cake better because it looks so fancy, but we shouldn't go off a presentation, but it can affect people.
I think I might win.
And we are all done. So I want to show you the texture of both of the cakes. This is the boxed cake. And this one is more dense, but this is the scratch cake.
So we've got our taste tester here, and we're gonna blindfold him so he can't see which cake is which.
Is this a joke or is it like? That's the box one. Yeah, I think that's probably the real one.
Tell us what you think about that one we just had.
This is number
I have to taste it again.
2. He just wants more cake. Let's be real. Open
The
it.
first one was the cake mix. The second one was the real one.
Which one did you like better?
The second one.
One for the box cake mix.
Then it was our turn to test this cake.
What's your thoughts on that one?
The box mix.
Or what did you think about it?
It's a little dry.
That's 2.
That was the box cake.
What did you notice about it?
It was more moist and like not as dense.
So you like number 2 better?
Both times.
Oh, wow.
What is number 2?
The cake box?
Yep.
It's the cake box!
The box
No!
cake.
2 for the box cake, 0 for the homemade cake.
I was quite intrigued to try the 2 cakes. I didn't know what my response would be.
I feel like that had a aftertaste or whatever of box cake. Oh. I really like that one. Yeah, that is definitely not the box cake. The other one has that funny taste to me.
Again? Or which one do you like better?
Number 2. Can I open up?
Uh-huh.
Which one?
You liked yours.
One for the homemade from scratch cake. So we had 2 votes for the box cake, and I was the only one that liked this homemade from scratch cake best. But here's the kicker. Upon further testing,
I decided I wasn't sure which one I liked better, but I was kind of leaning towards the homemade.
so there you go. This one you may have a first good taste impression, but really the homemade.
If you're gonna pinch though and need something super quick, definitely try the cake box.
Box cake. It's hard to get that straight.
Make sure you add in the extra hacks.
That was it. Let us know how you like this video.